Hey everybody, it's Samira, and with me today I have Gin Sevani. Welcome to
Hello,
the show.
for having me, Samira.
Now, Gin and I have known each other for years now from wrestling Twitter, and now we're both here. I'm doing interviews, and she's the wrestler.
And who would have thought? Who would have thought,
Uh,
honestly? Like, I get goosebumps just thinking about it. Like, we met because of a Randy Orton post. So, and then now we're here and, you're doing interviews and I'm wrestling. And it's just crazy. It's crazy.
it's definitely crazy. So hopefully our paths will eventually cross into meeting in
Oh,
real life because we still have not met yet.
no, we haven't. But I feel like, especially since the pandemic is kind of dying down, we'll meet eventually, which is going to be gorgeous.
It'll be so awesome.
About time.
So my first question to ask you is, what made you get into wrestling?
Um, Well, I was 4, and then my brother decided he wanted to show me SmackDown, I believe it was, and it was Randy Orton. Randy Orton was the first wrestler I saw. Uh, and I'm sure you know how hooked you get when you see Randy on TV. So I immediately got hooked. And then I remember I saw a woman coming out, and I was like, oh, all right, women can do this too. And immediately I got hooked. I would see it every Monday and Friday. There was not a day where I missed it. So that was around 2004, 2003. And I honestly blame my brother for my addiction to wrestling. So,
Who are some of your inspirations then in wrestling?
um, it's a little controversial, but I definitely will say that Chris Benoit's style is definitely one of my favorites. I do go based off a lot of his wrestling work, but I would say Chris Benoit for sure is a giant inspiration when it comes to his in ring work. Um, I also do want to say Pete Dunne since he's kind of very technical. Um, who else? Obviously Trish, very girl power, very out there, very strong. But those three are my main ones, and of course Randy. I pick up little things that he does, and I incorporate it into my wrestling as well. But those are for sure 4 giant inspirations.
And speaking of your wrestling, who is Gin Sevani? Like, who is this character that you have?
So Jin is my alter ego, my very wild child, hippie, animal activist, supports the LGBT community. She's just me, but times 1,000, where I can actually be this free spirit that I've always wanted to be that comes out in the ring. So the moment that music hits and I come out the curtain, I'm just as free as I've always wanted to be. So she's, like I said, my alter ego. She's not the mellow version of me. She's me, but somebody that I've always wanted to be. Because I'm sure we all want to be somebody else. We all look at other people and we're like, yeah, I wish I had that trait that they have, or full of happiness. But Jin is my alter ego. Jin, literally my free spirit.
So is she based on anybody? Like when I saw your gear, I was kind of getting dude love vibes.
No, not really. I know I refer to myself as the Janis Joplin of professional wrestling. It's more so just inspired by colors and tie dye and just being colorful and out there. I try to be very laid back with the way I look, but it's not really inspired by anybody. It's just, I guess, my own touch to wrestling.
What was it like then debuting for your first time?
Oh, that was it happened the day before my 22nd birthday, and I wasn't expecting it, but I got told that I was gonna do it, and I cried for hours when I got home. And I did cry after my match too. It was against Grant Sahona. So Grant Sahona is honestly great. I honestly wouldn't have had my first match with anybody else. Like, he was the perfect person to have my first match with. It was insane. It was such an insane feeling. Like I said, walking out the curtain for the first time ever, even though there was a little bit of mess ups. They didn't play my music, so I was a little bit caught off guard, but it was, I don't think words can describe that feeling when you first have your first initial match, aside from like nerve wracking. But it is true when they say that, like, the moment you get out there, it's like all the nerves are gone, all the nerves just leave. but it was honestly a beautiful experience.
Seeing on your socials, and you're actually wearing the shirt right now. Will we see more of you and Bovie together?
Hopefully, I hope so. That's my other half. That's my right hand man. Like, he's amazing. Honestly, there is no Gin Sevani without the participation champion Bovie. So I'm crossing my fingers, because I know he has his own things going on, but I'm crossing my fingers and hoping that eventually we can start wrestling matches together. I recently wrestled him in OC. I think it was in April, on April 23rd for a relaunch, and it was great. I believe it was relaunch. I'm probably botching it, but yeah, I wrestled against him, and then we had a trios match in Yuma, Arizona, against Tahona, Eddie Vice, and Alexander Vega. We teamed up with Freddie, and that's the most we've interacted, but hopefully soon. Yeah, there's no way that we can not have Violence. Violence exists, so hopefully there's going to be more of that soon.
So I know coming up, Gin Sevani's gonna have a title match. So are you ready for your title match, your first ever title match?
Okay, like I said, chills. Yeah, I actually am. It's crazy because, I just debuted in March, so now I'm having a title match, and I personally like to think I've been working really hard for this title match. So it's against Katana Vera, who is an incredible wrestler herself. So it's a little, and I've been wrestling a bunch of men lately, so it's nice to finally be in the ring with the woman and get to wrestle another woman and see what she's all about. So I'm super excited, nervous, because obviously it's a very big deal to me. I'll probably, like I said, cry before and after, but yeah, I'm so excited and so nervous. Like I said, I'm at loss for words because of this title match that's coming up.
Are you gonna do more intergender wrestling?
I hope to do more women's matches. I love wrestling anybody, like whether it's a male or female. I love it all. If you put anybody against me, I will gladly wrestle them. I love wrestling people. I love seeing their style. I love seeing what they're about. I love seeing their characters. So hopefully I get to wrestle more women as well soon.
Now, you've been working with Venue Wrestling Entertainment, and what has that been like?
Exciting. I love everything about VWE, because they like to, and especially since it's basically ran by Lil Cholo, who's also my trainer. You get set up with different matches and different people, and it's just a wide variety and so much diversity. So I enjoy it so much. I'm honestly blessed to be part of VWE shows, and it's becoming an ongoing trend where I go to majority of VWE shows now. So it's home to me. I love VWE.
So I noticed on your Instagram stories that Gin Sevani is getting some t-shirts. Now, did you come up with your t-shirt design for your first merch?
No, a friend of mine named Jojo came up with it. He surprised me with it one day. It was before I debuted, and he presented it to me, and I fell in love with it. It was like love at first sight. I loved it. It was everything that I wanted in a logo. So I didn't design it. So thank you, Jojo.
So when will your merch become available, and where can fans find it?
They would have to DM me about that, but it's already available. I do have shirts, and yeah, just hit me up with them.
So what other wrestling promotions do you hope to debut for this year?
Oh, okay. I hope to debut for RGR, which is Lucha here in Laguna Hills. Hopefully Fist Combat. Honestly, it's a very long shot, but hopefully GCW by next year, which is it's a very far stretch, but hopefully. I know that bar wrestling is coming back, I believe, with a different owner. And then yeah, those are a few of those. I just had this conversation with my partner Bovie, and then now it's just gone.
Will you guys be taking bookings together as well?
Yeah, definitely. Like I mentioned prior, if anybody wants Violence, then we'll give them Violence. It's honestly such a blast whenever Bovie and I go to wrestle shows, because he's a ball of energy.
So who's someone you would like to wrestle by the end of 2021?
By the end of 2021, Never thought about that. I really haven't. Jack Cartwheel. He's a gymnast, so I know it's he's full of energy. So it's gonna be difficult, keeping up with him. But I would love to wrestle Jack Cartwheel by the end of 2021.
So before I get to my fun question, I always like to ask everybody, where do they see themselves in the next year?
In the next year, hopefully getting booked every weekend. Because who doesn't like wrestling? Like I see my friends doing it and it looks so exciting and I would love to do it. But I do see myself being happier where I'm at and enjoying wrestling as much as I can. That's basically where I see myself by the end of 2021.
So then my final and my fun question for you is, what is your favorite thing to do during the summertime?
I hate summer. I don't like summer. I feel like like it's too hot. So my favorite thing to do in the summer is honestly wait for fall. I'm just kidding. Probably just sit in my AC, relax and hang out with my friends, go to bonfires. I'm more of a night person, so hopefully, like I said, something that's more laid back as opposed to, being in the sun all day. Because no, I know there's people who like to tan and go to the beach. Kudos, I get to you. That's pretty much it. I'm very laid back and chill. So bonfires, kickbacks, hanging out with my friends, my wrestling buddies, going to dance. That's my favorite thing to do in the summer.
What about like carnivals or amusement parks, or no, that's not your thing?
It is actually. I like going to Disneyland. So I know it's open now and I'm excited to go back, but I love amusement parks. I love what are they called? Boardwalks.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I have Santa Monica Pier over here, so I love boardwalks. I also like, I know it sounds cheesy, but walks at the beach at night. It's one of my favorite things to do. It's super relaxing. But yeah, I'm more of a night person. I'll stay home. I'll stay inside in my AC during the day, but at night that's when I like to enjoy the summer weather.
It's usually cooler then, so then you'll be good.
Exactly. And it just feels better.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today. Can you tell everybody where they can find you?
Okay, thank you so much for having me. Because honestly, like I said, super exciting. This is my first interview ever, so I appreciate you so much for having me. You can find me on Instagram only at Gin Sevani, GINSEVANI, and you'll see what I'm up to there. We can vibe together.
I included her Instagram here on the video, and it's linked in the description below, along with all my social media. If you enjoyed this video, please like and comment whatever you thought, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more. Thank you again to Gin Sevani for coming on with me today, and I'll see you guys next week for the next interview. Bye!